Recent circulating narratives and video-style reports surrounding Joel Osteen and his ministry describe a period of heightened tension, emotional strain, and public attention centered on his family and church community. In these accounts, a combination of an alleged security incident at Lakewood Church and claims regarding Victoria Osteen's health condition has been framed as a deeply personal turning point for the Osteen family. While details vary depending on the source, the broader story being told is one of a well-known spiritual leader facing challenges that extend beyond the pulpit and into his private life. The tone of these reports emphasizes uncertainty, resilience, and the emotional weight of leadership under pressure. At the center of the narrative is the idea that even widely recognized figures of faith and optimism are not immune to personal trials. Joel Osteen, known globally for his uplifting sermons and motivational messaging, is portrayed as navigating a difficult chapter that blends public responsibility with private concern. This moment is often described as more than just a church-related development. It is framed as a test of endurance, belief, and emotional strength. The introduction of these themes sets the stage for a broader reflection on leadership, vulnerability, and the expectations placed on public religious figures in times of crisis. The incident and the shockwaves at Lakewood Church. According to the circulating account, a disturbing security incident allegedly occurred at Lakewood Church in Houston, drawing immediate attention and concern from both attendees and observers worldwide. These reports describe a moment of chaos during a church gathering, with emergency response and law enforcement becoming involved as the situation unfolded. While specifics differ depending on retellings, the central focus remains on the disruption of a place typically associated with worship, community, and safety. The idea that such an event could take place in a sacred and widely attended environment has contributed to widespread emotional reaction. In the aftermath of the alleged incident, discussions quickly shifted towards safety, preparedness, and the vulnerability of large public gatherings. Megachurches like Lakewood, which host thousands of attendees and broadcast services to millions more, operate on a scale that requires significant logistical and security planning. The event, as described in these narratives, raises questions about how institutions balance openness and accessibility with protection and risk management. For many followers, the shock lies not only in the reported violence, but in its contrast to the church's message of peace and hope. This tension between spiritual sanctuary and real-world danger becomes a central theme in the unfolding story, a personal crisis and public attention. Alongside the reported church incident, narratives also focus heavily on Victoria Osteen and claims of a serious health diagnosis affecting her life and leadership role. In these accounts, her condition is presented as a significant emotional and organizational challenge for both her family and the broader church community. As co-pastor of Lakewood Church, Victoria has long been visible in ministry work, women's programs, and public messaging, making any personal health struggle a matter of wide interest among followers. The combination of personal health concerns and public ministry responsibilities creates a complex dynamic. For Joel Osteen, the situation is often described as requiring him to balance his role as a global spiritual voice with his responsibilities as a husband and family member. This dual pressure is portrayed as emotionally demanding, especially under constant public observation. Supporters are depicted as reacting with prayers and messages of encouragement, while also expressing concern about continuity in leadership and the future direction of church activities. The narrative emphasizes how personal crises, when experienced by public figures, often become collective emotional events for their communities, shaping not only private lives but also institutional identity, community reaction, and emotional response. The response from followers, according to these narratives, has been immediate and emotionally charged. Supporters across congregations, social media platforms, and global broadcast audiences are described as offering prayers, encouragement, and solidarity with the Osteen family. This collective reaction highlights the deep emotional connection many individuals feel toward religious leaders they follow regularly. For some, the situation is interpreted through a lens of faith and endurance, while others focus on the practical implications for leadership and church operations. Within this emotional environment, uncertainty plays a significant role. Questions arise about how Lakewood Church will maintain its large-scale ministry activities during a period of personal difficulty for its leaders. Concerns include service continuity, pastoral responsibilities, and the emotional well-being of those in leadership positions. At the same time, supporters often frame their responses in terms of hope and spiritual trust, emphasizing resilience and divine guidance. The community reaction becomes a reflection of how modern faith networks operate, not only as places of worship, but also as emotionally connected global communities that respond collectively to shared moments of crisis and vulnerability. Faith, vulnerability, and leadership under pressure. This chapter of the narrative places strong emphasis on the intersection between faith-based leadership and personal vulnerability. Joel Osteen is widely known for his optimistic and motivational preaching style, which centers on themes of hope, abundance, and personal growth. In this context, the reported challenges are framed as a contrast to his public message, highlighting how leaders are often required to embody their teachings even during personal hardship. The idea of vulnerability becomes central to understanding this moment. Rather than diminishing leadership, the narrative suggests that personal struggle can deepen authenticity and relatability. For many followers, witnessing a spiritual leader face difficulty may reinforce the belief that faith is not about avoiding hardship, but enduring it with strength and conviction. This perspective reframes adversity as a form of testimony, where lived experience becomes part of the message itself. At the same time, leadership under pressure raises practical concerns. Managing a global ministry involves public appearances, media engagement, and organizational oversight, all of which may be affected during periods of personal strain. The balance between transparency and privacy becomes a delicate matter, shaping how leaders communicate with their congregations while protecting family well-being. Roots of a ministry, built on legacy. The story of Joel Osteen's ministry is often traced back to a family foundation deeply rooted in Christian faith and church development. His parents, John and Dodie Osteen, are frequently described as pioneers who transformed a modest congregation into what would eventually become Lakewood Church. Their early work emphasized faith healing, community outreach, and charismatic worship, setting a cultural and spiritual tone that continues to influence the church today. This legacy is portrayed as a crucial influence on Joel's understanding of ministry. Growing up in an environment where faith was actively practiced and publicly demonstrated shaped his perspective on leadership and service. The emphasis on perseverance, hope, and spiritual resilience became foundational principles that would later define his own approach. Rather than entering ministry through formal theological training alone, his path was shaped by lived experience within a growing religious community. The narrative of legacy also highlights continuity. Lakewood Church is presented not just as an institution, but as a multi-generational vision carried forward through family involvement. This sense of inherited responsibility adds depth to the current moment, as challenges faced today are seen in relation to decades of growth, adaptation, and spiritual commitment. Early life and the making of a media pastor. Joel Osteen's early career is often described as unconventional compared to traditional pastoral paths. Instead of immediately stepping into preaching roles, he initially focused on media production and broadcast operations within the church. This behind-the-scenes work allowed him to develop a strong understanding of communication, television production, and audience engagement, skills that would later become central to his ministry style. His academic background in radio and television further shaped this direction, even though he did not complete formal theological training. The emphasis was less on academic preparation and more on practical communication, particularly the ability to reach audiences beyond the physical church building. This media-oriented approach positioned him uniquely at a time when religious broadcasting was expanding rapidly. Eventually, his transition into preaching marked a significant turning point. What began as an unexpected opportunity evolved into a defining role. His style, characterized by simplicity, optimism, and relatable storytelling, resonated with many viewers. This shift from production to pulpit is often seen as a key moment in shaping his identity as a, quote, media pastor, someone whose influence extends far beyond traditional church walls. Rise of a global megachurch platform. As Joel Osteen assumed leadership of Lakewood Church, the ministry experienced significant expansion in both size and visibility. The church grew rapidly, eventually relocating to a large renovated arena that allowed for tens of thousands of attendees and global broadcast capabilities. This transformation symbolized a broader shift in modern religious practice, where churches increasingly function as multimedia organizations with international reach. His sermons, focused on positivity, gratitude, and personal empowerment, attracted diverse audiences, including those outside traditional church communities. Books, televised sermons, and large-scale events contributed to a growing global platform. This expansion positioned Lakewood Church as one of the most prominent megachurches in the world, with influence extending across continents through digital media. The rise of this platform also reflects changing patterns in religious engagement. Rather than relying solely on local congregations, modern ministries often operate through broadcast and online channels, reaching millions simultaneously. This model has amplified both influence and scrutiny, as public visibility increases expectations regarding messaging, leadership, and organizational transparency. Growth, influence, and cultural reach. Over time, Joel Osteen's influence expanded beyond church services into mainstream media, publishing, and public speaking. His books reached bestseller lists, and his appearances on major talk shows introduced his message to audiences who may not regularly attend church. This crossover appeal contributed to his reputation as both a pastor and a motivational speaker. Social media further amplified this reach, allowing short messages of encouragement to circulate widely. His style of communication, often concise and uplifting, adapted well to digital platforms. As a result, his influence extended into daily motivational culture, where religious and secular audiences intersect. This cultural reach also reshaped expectations of ministry. Leaders like Osteen are no longer confined to local congregations but are instead viewed as global figures, whose words carry broad impact. This visibility brings both opportunity and responsibility, as messages are interpreted by diverse audiences with varying expectations and beliefs. Controversies, criticism, and institutional challenges. Despite widespread popularity, Joel Osteen's ministry has faced ongoing criticism and public debate. Concerns have been raised regarding theological emphasis, particularly around prosperity teachings and the focus on positive outcomes. Critics argue that such messaging may oversimplify complex life challenges, while supporters view it as a source of encouragement and hope. Financial transparency has also been a recurring topic of discussion, especially given the scale of Lakewood Church's operations. Questions about spending priorities and resource allocation have contributed to broader debates about megachurch governance and accountability. These discussions reflect wider tensions within modern religious institutions that operate on large budgets and global visibility. Operational and safety challenges have also appeared over time, particularly in relation to large public gatherings and security considerations. Such issues highlight the complexity of managing a high-profile institution that functions both as a place of worship and a large-scale event center. Looking ahead, endurance, faith, and the future. The concluding perspective of these narratives focuses on endurance, adaptation, and the evolving nature of faith leadership. In the face of personal and institutional challenges, Joel and Victoria Osteen are portrayed as navigating a period that requires resilience and reflection. Their roles as leaders, parents, and public figures intersect in ways that shape both their private lives and public responsibilities. Lakewood Church, as an institution, is often depicted as standing at a moment of reflection, where leadership structures, communication approaches, and community support systems may evolve in response to changing circumstances. The emphasis is not solely on crisis but also on continuity and adaptation, suggesting that institutions often grow through periods of challenge. Ultimately, the narrative presents a broader message about faith under pressure. It suggests that leadership is not defined only by moments of success but also by the ability to navigate uncertainty with steadiness and purpose. In this framing, the future remains open-ended, shaped by both personal resilience and collective support from a global community that continues to engage with the story as it unfolds.